Wanders, welcome, welcome. I think I have our show playing in the background. Oop, I do. I'm hanging out in all the chat room places, so you know.
You handle so much over there in your corner of the world.
Yes, I like my little corner of the world.
You do a bang up job.
Bang up. I like
Bang up job.
I
The
dig
things
it.
that come out of my mouth.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Hello, Wanders. Welcome, welcome. It is Wandering Wednesday with me and Natalie.
Yeah.
AJ.
Natalie.
It's like a little chair. AJ.
Natalie.
Okay. Am I a little happy today? I don't know if it's happiness. I'm just like, whoa, I feel like we haven't done a show for a while. We were missing it last week, and here we are.
I was disappointed,
again.
but just could not.
Yeah, I mean, things happen. They happen, and we just do this for funsies. So if we can't make it, we cannot make it.
No.
And that's all there is to it.
Yeah.
So thank you for being patient with us, sticking in the game. Got my space heater on. I'm starting to feel it. Woo. Hi, Natalie. How are you?
I'm good, AJ.
Our show tonight is on being rooted, and I am not grounded. So there's that.
I've got that whole Capricorn, Earth energy that hangs out with me all the time.
Yeah, this is so good. You do ground me, so. But yes, hi. New week, new show. I like our topics lately. They've been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
This year.
Yes,
I mean, they're always good, but this year feels deeper and yummier. I'm here for it. And you know what I've dismissed in sharing? There are a handful of people in our day-to-day or week-to-week around here who listen to our show.
Yes.
And you don't know that because they don't like comment, you don't know they're hanging out there. So the ones that aren't hanging out in the chat room, no judgment. But if you aren't, I just want to recognize you too. Like, thanks for listening to our show. And you don't have to engage in conversation or listen to it live. You can listen to it whenever your heart desires. But thanks, you guys. We really appreciate the support. And it's fun to hear. I listened to your show and I learned this and this helped me. And it's just so good. So thank you.
I agree. There's times where people say, "Oh, I just listened to your show," and you're like, "You did that? That's cool."
Awesome.
You have to admit, sometimes I'm like, "Oh, people are like." When I'm talking about things in different groups, sometimes I'm like, "Oh yeah, I have a podcast." Someone asked in a group the other day, "What podcast do we recommend?" And someone's like, "Your podcast, Natalie." I'm like, that's true.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't
have a podcast.
What are we doing here? We're just hanging out. We're doing Natalie and AJ conversations that we normally have. We just happen to have the camera in our face when we do it on Soul Wandering. So
yeah,
it's good. It's good. I'm really happy to be here. Oh, look.
Oh, speaking of our people in our everyday world.
Yes. Hello, Amanda. Hi, Charles. Hi, Bobby. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. If you are with us live, make sure you hang out in the chat room, either on the Book of Faces or over on the YouTube, which seems to be the most active when it comes to the chat as far as that goes. But if you're not joining us live, leave a comment. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, whatever you feel called to do. We're here for it. We're grateful for it. Tonight, we are going to be talking about growing confidence from within. Our show title is called Rooted and Radiant. This was a listener choice. You guys voted for this a couple of weeks ago. So here we are. We're going to dive into this topic. And I have more topics. I didn't even go over them with you. We're so good with that. We have our list of topics and then forget which ones we're voting on this week.
I was remiss and I thought about it earlier, but then when I saw you, the brief time that I saw you today, I forgot to say, "Hey, let's look at the list."
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty good at that.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
No,
That,
all,
yeah, we
I
just
call
we
this like, I've grown more confident in just-in-time processing. So I don't like to use the word. This definitely can go along with the topic. So I don't refer to myself as a procrastinator anymore. I don't say I'm sorry because I really live very intentionally. So I don't really I really don't find many situations where I feel like I need to apologize, and I don't call myself a procrastinator, but I do use the verbiage. I'm a just in time processor. It's just in time. I'm getting it done just in time, or now.
Oh, I love the wording for you. I am definitely a master procrastinator.
So you just
And I need to be saying that because it creates the urgency to meet the deadline. Facts are facts. Okay.
And I believe that that's definitely some of that difference between you and I, that you're doing it the way that you do it. And then my language is, I'm a just in time processor.
Well, yeah. And I have a defined root and a defined heart. So,
Uh
ooh, I love that pressure cooker.
huh.
And I definitely get cooked. Hello, Maria. Welcome. So, yes, we'll have some new topics for you to vote on by the end of the night. So, stay with us if you want to pitch in on the topic for next week. We'll be here, I'm assuming. You never
That's
know,
the plan
but
at the
count on
moment.
us. Count on us.
We'll let you know if we're
Yes.
not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so tonight, rooted and radiant, we're going to be talking about confidence. Um, growing, what was the original? Developing confidence from within. That was the topic. So,
Yeah.
uh, I was feeling on this, and my life has been a struggle when it comes to like my self-worth and my confidence. Not that I don't feel like I'm capable, because I know that I can do anything I set my mind to. We all can, right? Pretty much. There are something limitations. And I'm a realistic human being, so I say that as a disclaimer. But your mind is a powerful tool, and you can do so
Yes.
much more than you ever thought you could. So, I mean, at least give it a go. Give it an honest go. But I feel like um confidence is, you know, we often mistake confidence for something that's like certain or like an outward strength.
Hmm.
So like you'll see people who are like having all of these achievements and recognition, or being the loudest voice in the room, or having all the answers, or they just come across as confident. But I feel like confidence is a lot more quieter than that. So I'm excited to see how you feel and have the conversation flow as it does. But before we do, I have a little quote. Confidence isn't something you perform, it's something you grow.
Oh, I believe that.
And I thought that was a perfect little quote for rooted and radiant. So, are you in a place right now where you feel like you could share something on this topic to introduce us to it?
Yes. I would say with confidence.
It sounded confident.
Yes, I can share something. Um, Throughout my life, I also have struggled many years ago. People that see me now and I express ways that I used to be. This happened to me just the other day. She's like, I can't believe you, but I'll take your word for it. I
Mhm.
can't believe you were ever like that, but I'll take your word for it that you were, because I do not represent, and the way I show up in my life now is not the way that I have been in the past, many, many years ago. And the way that I grew, I want to say grow myself, or the way that I arrived to where I am today, and going with the word rooted, definitely was establishing a knowledge about myself and leaning into those things that described me. So it was exterior explanations And then I leaned into, started with Myers-Briggs. Like I started to understand my personality. I went to a course, a coaching course. It was 10 days. We did a lot of psychological testing, these tests that you go through that in the professional world, they'll use to evaluate you and feedback to you. And so through all of those aspects and leaning in towards that, even like there's a strengths finder that ranks 34 strengths and understanding the ones that are at the top of the list. I leaned more into that and more into that and more into that. The more I leaned into the ways that I showed up in a lot of those different tests, the more confident I began to feel in my life. The easier it was to be in my skin. And so really in simple or like succinct terms, I learned that being myself was the one job I was 100% qualified for, to be myself.
Yes.
And I always show up that way. When I was employed, I was always good at doing what I do now, having conversations, dialogue with people, having people open up to me. That was what I could do naturally. I never had to work at it. But the other things like deadlines, like making sure things flowed in a particular way on some other person's schedule, was not very good at that. So I moved away from those types of things and jobs because those just areas that I didn't, I often didn't show up. I was not the best employee at certain jobs in certain capacities. But I was good at engaging with people. So thankfully, that's what I get to do now.
And you're really good at it.
And that really helped me be confident in my life when I allowed my life to unfold according to the way that was natural for me.
And it's working for you. It's working really well for you.
Thank you. And it helps me to hang out with people that reflect back to me and affirm and aren't afraid to just say, hey, there's just this little thing here you might adjust. I have to say my vocal. This is funny. I'm going to tell the story that happened. That I have been known throughout my life to have a very loud voice. It was recently described as a speaker's voice. I can stand in front of a room and I don't need a microphone.
You can call me out. It's okay.
So I was with these lovely group of ladies and AJ was one of them. And we were in a restaurant and the rest of the restaurant was relatively quiet, but I was not being quiet at that moment. And so she just took her hand and went, this was all she did. And in years past, with a lack of self-worth that I embodied back then, I would have felt really awful. Only it was just this little tiny little sort of like, ooh, but it didn't even last that long. And I'm just like, okay, I'll start lowering my voice.
That's why I pet you afterwards. I'm all, you're okay. It's all good.
Don't just be offended or worry about that. But it was funny. So I appreciate the fact that I can take that sort of feedback and I don't carry it for hours feeling like I did something wrong and I had to be called out for something. I just didn't hold on to that, which really does help in my own personal. Being rooted in myself has been one of the best things that I have done for years for myself, for my life. And I honestly feel for the rest of the world, I can show up in a much healthier space to be what the world needs me to be. And I really believe that every person could discover how the world needs you to be. The world likes healthy us. The world receives us when we're healthier very differently than when we're really not as comfortable in our own skin as possible.
And isn't it crazy? We're totally conditioned not to be ourselves.
Right. It is so real.
It's funny how that works.
Act this way, do this. With my clients all the time, I get people who saying, I'm trying to be like that person over there. And I did that too. I want to be like that person because, as you were mentioning earlier, what we see in others and what we would describe as confidence in another person, we want to like take that person's characteristics and put inside of ourselves. And we're so
Hmm.
different from other people.
Thank goodness.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't imagine having someone like me around all of or other people that I can imagine having a lot of them around all of the time. No, but really, there's a lot of great people in the world, right?
There is. There is. And
I
there's other people in the world too.
that teach us so
Mm-hmm.
much,
Yes.
so much. Yeah.
So how about you?
Well, lifelong journey, right? And I feel like I'm
Mm-hmm.
still on it. I don't know if I'll ever I hope to grasp it at one point. And I think at that point it won't really matter anymore. And
Oh yeah.
I'm almost there. There's there's this thing that I've been going through the last few years. I wouldn't say so much it's about my confidence, but just like who I am and just loving who I am unconditionally. And I feel like the human design system has allowed me to like see myself in a lens that I never had the opportunity to see myself in that way before. So that has helped a lot to appreciate and accept parts about me that before I thought were more like curses than blessings.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the way that I receive so much information and um, feel things so deeply. Sometimes it can be it feels like a curse.
Sure.
But so there's a lot of things regarding that and like having so much going on inside of me until I started really understanding what that all meant and that actually everything that is happening is actually a really beautiful thing and it's not a curse. It's not something that I have to dislike about myself. And in fact, I can embrace about myself. So you talked about Meyer Briggs and some other things. And I think that those systems are really important for us to get a deeper understanding of ourselves. Um, and I think that's a great platform and foundation for us to have is some kind of, starting place like that. But also like really getting to know ourselves. I feel like my confidence in myself really started happening in the last, I would say, 10 years when I realized that I do so much more. And I'm not just talking about achievements or recognition or anything like that, but just the way that I navigate my life and the way that I take inventory and the way that I um inventory on like relationships or experiences. And it's given me a platform to be able to lean in and trust myself. And I think that's the biggest thing is because my whole life I didn't know how to trust myself. I made decisions that weren't good for me. I just didn't know better, but at the time, you really beat yourself up like, "Oh, I should have done this and why didn't I do that?" And you get to develop this um experience with yourself where you can start having this self-trust and this inner alignment and knowing your worth is a non-negotiable. So not allowing people to dictate who you are, but knowing who you are and standing strong and confident in that nobody else can dictate that for you. It doesn't matter who you are, what you do, what you say, like you still get to decide who you are at the end of the day and how you operate and navigate your life from there. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the confidence gets built in those silent moments, not in the applause, not in people like seeing your achievements or looking at you and thinking you have your life together. Or I've had so many people tell me like, "Oh, you have my dream job, you live my dream life, you have everything, you always are so happy, you have such a supportive group and your husband is amazing, you have all of these things." Well, I worked really hard for all of these things. They are achievements, and I am blessed to have amazing people in my life, but I feel like I have them in my life because I deserve that. And I never thought that before.
Mm.
I always thought like I'll never have that because I don't deserve it. My whole life has shown me that I'm not worthy to receive. But when you lean into like none of that really matters and it's how you truly feel about yourself and how you look at yourself, that is the most important thing. And when you raise your frequency in that, like attracts like. And then I began receiving all these amazing connections and this beautiful life, and things are happening for me. And it's much different because I don't, you know, you ever like, I know you have before set goals and didn't achieve them, or I'm going to start this workout program tomorrow. And then you're like, I'll do it the next day. So you're constantly telling yourself things and then not doing them. And so you're breaking trust with yourself. And when I recognized that I was doing that, like, oh, I'm gonna do this today. Tomorrow's a new day. Let's do this today. Tomorrow, I'll get to that tomorrow. I stopped trusting myself. And so when I took that whole narrative away and became realistic with myself, like I'll get to it when the pressure is big enough for me to get to it. Until then, I am right here. When I stopped lying to
Oh,
myself, then I feel like I was able to not have the letdown I always had before. I didn't set myself up for failure.
right, right.
So it was a much different situation. And it gave me an opportunity to be like, yeah, I can do this. Like, I'm capable. I'm not lazy. I am a master procrastinator. And that's okay. Like, it's okay.
Now I can see why you say that. That was
Mm.
well explained.
So, anyways, yes, that is where I feel like I'm at. So I love that we chose rooted and radiant for our topic because, or for our title of our topic, because when I think about being rooted, I think about, um, I wrote this down because I get these really great thoughts and I'm like, oh, I better write that down because I won't remember it. And here I can't find it. Oh, when your roots are deep, you don't fear the wind.
Mm, so true.
So that came to me because I'm thinking, what does it mean to be rooted? Rooted in my confidence with myself. What does that look like? And when you think about, just like earlier, I wasn't grounded, I'm like all over the place. You can't do anything in that space. I had to bring myself back and ground myself. And then my roots are deep and then I'm more steady. It's just an experience. You have
Just
something
an
to say, I
experience.
can feel it.
Well, you flashed up the question um, briefly, and I was just feeling into that question
Mhm.
that that Maria had um, posed on there. So that's what. And then you brought up the quote, which aligns to this. So this says, "We have a plan and navigate. How do we handle the situations that throw a monkey wrench?"
Mhm.
We have a plan, we're navigating, and the world around us is also doing its thing. The monkey
Mhm.
wrenches are an interpretation of what is happening around us. Just like right now, I don't know if those, like there's someone outside our doors that is talking, laughing, and it's like a monkey wrench in a way because it's like, nope, don't pay attention to them. So
Mhm.
there's times where the whole world is, we're swimming in an ocean of other people, and oftentimes the monkey wrench can be a sign of multiple things. It can be a sign that our plan is not, we're, our action that's going along with our plan is not maybe properly timed, so it might not be now that our plan gets initiated, or just these steps along the way, and then maybe there's a pause. So monkey wrenches are often just a caution or a yield sign. So it depends on the situation and the interpretation. But how do you handle that? So, me personally, I don't fear the wind. I really don't fear the wind. The wind is an aspect of being in a world, and we're in this world, and the world has its own flow and its own synergy, and sometimes it doesn't look like it's aligned with ours. with our personal plan, and there can be people that it can knock our confidence off when something happens. And I've heard people say this, feels like the world's against me. It
Mhm.
doesn't want me to succeed. Every time I step forward, it's shoving me backwards. These are different things that people will say when they're feeling sort of knocked off kilter.
Mhm.
But if you're rooted in, and you and I both now are much more rooted in our design,
Mhm.
and it is the most reliable, trustworthy um, way I have found to understand myself. And it's like I can have absolute confidence in the aspects that I understand about myself, and that roots me in life. And the rest of the thing just doesn't mean that I don't. Either one of us, we don't have days where like life is happening, where it seems a little
Mhm.
chaotic, or different things happen. But the stride doesn't get broken as long as it used to in my life.
Mhm.
So the
Right.
monkey wrenches are there sometimes to catch your attention, or I don't know.
Mhm.
Each situation is open for its own interpretation.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And I was while you were sharing, I was feeling how a lot of people look at confidence as something that I said this earlier. It's like the outward part of us, like our confidence, like the way we carry ourselves, what we wear, how we present ourselves to the world, our achievements, just the way we like stand in life, right? And um I love that we're going deeper than that. Like the confidence is from within. Like I feel like um circumstances are constantly changing, and there are days where we're going to feel really really good about ourselves, like yeah, I made the right choice, or I did the thing that was um meant for me, or the decision that I made was a good one, challenging but good. And those those experiences I feel are what helps us become rooted. That's the grounding, that's the anchoring that we receive when we are working on our confidence, or just like leaning into a more confident version of ourselves. So like when someone criticizes us, or we make a mistake, or whatever that looks like, we're able to navigate through that easier than we were before, because it's like we talk about a muscle. All of this is just strengthening our muscle, and I feel like we get to do that with that self trust, and I like to say inner alignment. Like I'm always working on aligning myself with the best version of myself. And also, I think it's really really important that when you begin working on developing your confidence from within, that um, you have an understanding that your worth is a non-negotiable. And I mentioned that earlier because there's a lot of people who, life, you guys, people aren't always going to be on your side or very supportive. Um, even even if you feel like some people in your team are, because we have people who are like, yeah, good for you, but they have an energy that are like, I don't know, she's like way out there, she's super confident, I'm not sure. Like it's really important to know that your worth is non-negotiable. So whatever someone else thinks or feels about you is irrelevant. This is all an inside job. I think confidence um, built on applause is not deeply rooted confidence.
Well, no, because it's contingent and it's conditional.
Exactly.
And always
Exactly.
seeking that approval outside of yourself means that you haven't approved of yourself on the internals, and you're searching for the external to replace what we're talking about building from within inside of you. Because
Mhm.
that's the part where when that's built, it gets it doesn't wobble as much when you
Yeah.
understand. So the voices that we talk, I mean, I talk about this all so often and frequently because it's very human to be so self-critical, to be so critical of yourself.
Mhm.
You would rarely say the things to anyone, a stranger or your friends or family, that you say that is allowed to be spoken on the inside of your skin. And so if you are going to work on developing that confidence and your
Mhm.
worth is not negotiable, that means within your skin, really first and foremost, if that relationship between you and yourself is an antagonistic one or a difficult one, then that's part of where you make some friends on the inside of you. Friend or friends, like you
Mhm.
reestablish that if you, because I have worked with people and I've worked to build them up, and I've given them information and they tear themselves down so much, like that.
Mhm.
And I just sort of throw my hands up and say, I don't know how to help you if you tear yourself down faster. It takes me 45 minutes to build you up and to share, for you to emotionally don't, talk to me and everything's going on. And then I work with you for 45 minutes and then in, 30 seconds, it's all dissipated because the inside of you is so negative. It's
Mhm.
just, that's such an important thing along the lines of this topic of
Mhm.
saying mind your mind. And it's not so easy just to stop the negative self-talk. It's, for me, in my understanding, it's more of a gradual process. Maybe for some, it can be really quick, but it does start with saying, that's just not, give yourself grace, give yourself more grace.
Mhm.
If there's something that didn't go the way that you thought it was going to do and you've labeled it a mistake, fine. But mistakes are also experiments. And if when we back off and we change a different word and saying, we're experimenting with or understanding, how did that go? How could that have been different? Not, boy, I really screwed that up. Like, what went right and what went wrong with different situations.
Right. And I don't believe in mistakes personally,
Good.
but
You never make mistakes. You don't make mistakes. You just learn.
yeah, no, that has been a growth for me. I used to think I made mistakes all of the time. Now I understand that there were never ever any mistakes. Everything has always happened for me for my best and highest good. And I really believe that. I really do. Um Feeling into the topic, um I I really got into this like 20 minutes before the show, and so I typed up a few little things about becoming rooted. Um, Before radiance comes the rooting, and a tree doesn't grow towards the sun first; it grows downward into the soil. And I really feel like confidence works the same way because it grows through our self awareness. It is like radical honesty with ourselves, and honoring our values and our beliefs and listening to our inner knowing. And I feel like the more you trust your inner voice, the less you need validation, period. You don't need anyone to validate it because you are rooted in your truth. You're rooted in your inner knowing, your confidence. And I really want to encourage you guys, wanderers, to like begin noticing as you navigate through your life, like what feels true to you, and like where in your life do you feel like you're shrinking yourselves, and where in your life are you abandoning your true knowing, or if you have that, that inner knowing, that intuition, where are you ignoring that? Because those are all tools, if you will, in building this inner confidence from within. And the moment you start trusting yourself, I really believe that something like ancient inside of us begins to breathe. It's we come here with knowing who we are, and it gets deleted along the way. So it's like coming back home to yourself when you just breathe the life into you, if you will. I just feel like that ancient something inside of you exhales. It's like, here I am. There you are. I've missed you, because we set down our true selves at such an early age. And then going in from the rooted part into the radiance part, I don't believe it's something that we could ever force. It comes to us through experiences and through learning to trust ourselves again. And I really feel like it happens when we stop hiding, because we are all conditioned to like hide our truth for some reason, or don't look at me, don't see me. And even the people who are out there center stage, like they even have their moments of self-confidence very minimal. Like not you may think that the loudest person in the room is the one that's the most confident, and usually that's quite opposite. I think radiance really is something that happens when you stop hiding your true self. So you don't have to compete for space or for attention. You don't need to dominate. You don't need to seek approval. Your energy will just naturally expand when you just lean into the truth of who you are. And you get to do that by like learning to trust. I really feel like trust yourself is the biggest thing. Like, who am I? I'm going to experiment with that. What do I like? What do I don't like? What makes me feel good? What makes me feel intelligent? What makes me feel creative? Whatever it is that you're feeling like you are lacking, which is a whole other topic. But whatever you feel like you are lacking, like lean into that and really question, why would you feel that way? And is that even true? Because a lot of the stuff we can ask ourselves, and we've been carrying around for months or even years. And there really is no reason, because when you ask yourself the truth to that, like, why do I feel that way? And you're like, well, I don't know. It's just something I've always believed. Well, why do you believe that? Well, that's a good question. Why do I believe that? And if you can't even come up with a reason why you believe that you don't have the confidence for whatever it is, why are you carrying it around with you? So I feel like the radiance part comes when you start putting things down. When you start feeling calm and grounded and steady and powerful, and you do that by learning to trust yourself again. And it doesn't even have to be big. Like you can just say, when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to take 10 deep breaths. Like give yourself an opportunity to trust yourself, and don't do something crazy where you won't meet that exercise.
I do know.
That's what I have to say.
That was so good. I paused for a minute and then I'm like, oh, what do I get to say? I wasn't even preparing what I was going to say next.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. Yeah. And it's another thing is like when you feel rooted in who you are, you really will stop saying I'm sorry, and you really will stop asking for permission, even permission to just exist.
Mm.
You never notice when people walk in the room like, oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, yes.
Just by walking in the room, just by existing in the room.
Yeah.
You won't do that anymore.
Mm-mm.
So I think like practices to like really build in that inner confidence. If you don't have anything to say right at this moment, I'll go in. I really think that keeping those small promises to yourself are instrumental in building trust with yourself and feeling confident in who you are. Because I feel like confidence grows through that self-integrity. I think that's one of the biggest things, is when you can just like set your weapons down and stop fighting yourself. Because every time you honor your word to yourself, your roots are going to grow deeper.
So along those lines, on my side of the street, I'll say it that way. In my design, I'm not really designed for promises. And so I have learned not to make small promises to myself. And the more that I relax in that arena, and yes, I have set goals and there's things that I want to accomplish. I don't really see them as goals anymore because goals have this different energy that doesn't relate or resonate with me the same way it resonates with you, and the difference is okay. So it's not about small promises to myself. It's allowing for myself to be in a different kind of a flow and to
Mhm.
show up in any given now for myself and trust what my body has the energy for and what it doesn't. So I will find myself being self-critical when I don't have energy, like in my home life, and I'm at home and I just don't have energy to do something. And my mind says, we really should get that done. And my body has nothing to offer to that accomplishment. And I've learned to trust that.
Mhm.
Not and to understand that it doesn't mean I'm not lazy and it doesn't mean it won't ever get done. It just means right now my generator body just doesn't want to do that. And so instead of forcing myself, I allow the flow to happen, realizing, and sometimes it's just give myself a break or two, for an hour or something, and just settle in for a minute, and then I catch my flow and take care of some of the things that are in my household that need chores done. I just haven't ever really loved household chores. I haven't figured out how to like turn that switch on that I think other people have, but I don't know what's on the inside of them. They could just be like driving themselves. But for me, that's one of those things. It's like, oh man, I got so much I need to do. And my motor's just not going for that at the moment. Plus, I remind myself the work that I do, I need some like pause time
Yeah. I
to.
don't love cleaning either, just for the record, but I sure do love a clean house. So I get it done
Okay.
so I can have the peace.
It's funny.
A a picked up house is good enough, but yeah, a
Yeah.
deep cleaned house. Oh yes.
Sparkles.
I love sparkles.
Yeah. So, so along those lines, the just as a different look for those that are people that are listening, that um, not to dismiss, just I want to like reiterate that building the confidence is understanding that we all are very different, and listening to AJ or myself as outer authorities for people that are listening. We present what we talk about here as an
Mhm.
outer authority, but still it's within yourself to validate or to feel the resonance of whatever it is what we say, if it's for you or if it isn't for you. And that's a big part of what we're talking about here, is to
Mhm.
understand that within yourself you have an authority or two that are either in agreement or not in agreement, and learning to
Mhm.
trust that. And it's not up here in the mind as much as down where your breath reaches. The breath doesn't go to the brain. I just realized that just talking. It's like our breath, the oxygen goes up to our brain, but our breath doesn't necessarily go into our head. Our breath goes down here. And so waking that ancient part of ourselves that you were talking about, the breath goes down to where we have our authorities. That's cool.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. And I think it's really important that we stop comparing ourselves to others.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is one of the most detrimental things that you can do is comparing yourself to someone else. No one is on the exact same timeline.
No.
No one is in the exact same place of their journey and no one's journey looks the same. And comparison is like a really horrible place to put yourself in.
Yeah.
Here's a quote. The oak tree never questions its worth because the pine tree grows differently.
I love the tree analogies. Me and my trees.
Yeah. I've got them for days. I have books full of them. And confidence isn't about becoming someone new. Like, you don't have to reinvent yourself to do this. Oh, it's just a remembering of who you are and who you've always been. So, um, I think it's just remembering who you are already beneath like all the noise. All the noise. There's just so much noise that goes on in our world, in our communities, in our heads.
Mm-hmm.
You're not meant to spend your life shrinking into spaces that aren't expansive, that may feel safe, but are actually like inhibiting you from your growth. You're meant to expand. You're meant to take up space, and you're meant to shine brightly, and you're meant to have those really deep, thick roots
That's right.
and those big, luscious leaves.
So there really are situations in life, workplaces, family units, where there are people that can twist and manipulate, and experiences that we have around people that really can undermine.
Mm.
They really do, in interactions, undermine a person's sense of worth. And you can start to feel crazy if that's happening. There are people that's like, am I the crazy one? Or am I reading this right? Is this to understand the motivation or the actions of other people that aren't the healthiest? In my life and in my paradigm, I think and see these people as my teachers,
Mm.
because you learn the most when you play against an opponent that can beat you for a little while until they can't. So I don't mean to not take those different things seriously, but to lean into these things to say, okay, so what if I didn't believe that person? If I just didn't believe them and I believed myself over them. Years ago, I had was this creative therapist that I had. He said, if you take your fingers and you hold them like this, and I'm going to do it with my person because these are people up here on my shelf. If you put a person in between your fingers, they're little. So if you put that person that's your antagonist in between your fingers, they're just this little. And then you imagine their little voice. Because I used to have this problem in my workplaces. Oh my gosh, it was like this little, and then they're just little. And then, it's like, just shrink them instead of yourself and just go, okay, I just go. So that's a little mental trick that can be helpful in overcoming. That was one of my biggest things, was a self-comparison against someone that I felt had so much confidence, and I felt so minimized against them, but I wasn't really minimized. That was all my internal interpretation of a situation, the way that I looked at it, the way I was misunderstanding of myself as well. I did not know the things about myself that I know now. But that was a helpful trick then, to just minimize them, because they were so big in my mind.
Yeah.
The monster in our mind seems so big, but we can do these little things to go, okay, and then I started to understand they're just people too.
Amen.
And all those were very helpful in being rooted in myself. And I definitely wasn't rooted then, because I was stressed out or just not. And thank goodness I don't have that now. Thank goodness. I'll have to check that out. Great skit doing the shrinking people down.
That's funny. I mean, in all honesty, before you guys go, I'm gonna give you guys some topics. That was two things. I just split my thought. In all honesty, was one thought. I'm gonna give you guys some topics. Is another thought. Let's go with the topics first, so you guys can vote while we're still live. So we have 3 topics for next week. I want you guys to select an emoji associated with this. So here's 3 topics: grounding and centering practices. Speaking of grounding, if you guys have questions on how to ground, how to center, how to have it become a practice, do a smiley face emoji of some kind. If you guys would like us to talk about healing your inner child, oh, do a
Mm.
heart of some kind. And if you guys would like us to talk about past lives and soul memory, do an angel emoji.
Wow.
Yeah. Good topics.
Those are good topics.
Which one do you guys want us to go with? One more time. Grounding and centering practices, a smiley face emoji, healing your inner child, a heart emoji, or past lives and soul memory, an angel emoji. Go ahead and vote in the chat room if you're live. If you're not live, vote in the comments. We'll make our decision by next week when we join you again on Wednesday night. Hashtag Wandering Wednesday.
That's right.
So now that I've gotten that cleared and I'm like, the other thought path has dissipated. It disappeared, and that's okay.
This is what happens.
I just want to say, like, in closing, though, as far as this topic goes, we talk about this like, yeah, it's just like this. Just do this, and this will happen. You guys, it is. We are not trying to be unrealistic whatsoever, and we understand there's like deep work that is involved in this, and it doesn't happen overnight.
No.
So please, when we're like, we used to be that way and we're not anymore, we've been practicing this for a very long time. And still, we're not perfect. We still don't show up exactly how we're talking right now, but that is, I wouldn't say a goal for Natalie because she doesn't do goals, but that is something that we really are consciously aware of in our day to day, is to be a better version of ourselves today than we were yesterday. And however that shows up in our lives today, we get to look at because it's in our awareness. And so when I say just do this and it's just it's really not. And so give yourself grace, be patient with yourself. This is a journey. It really does take time to develop the practices, to lean into trusting yourself, to healing yourself, to believing in yourself, to seeing yourself with this confidence. I'm still not fully there. I'll be completely transparent. This is something I'm working on. I've been working on it for a long time. There are days I feel like a badass, and there are some days that I don't.
Okay.
And that is how the journey goes. Nothing is linear. It's all ups and downs and all around. So be gentle with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Really focus on your inner dialogue because your mind is such a powerful tool. And if you guys go dark with it, it's going to control your life. It just happens so easily. And on the opposite side of that, like if you give yourself patience and understanding and grace, in your mind space, you're able to grow flowers there. And so it's just tending to the soil, it's just tending to the roots. It's just, but those just things take time. Nothing grows overnight. So just be good to yourself. When you root yourself in truth, the radiance will just be inevitable. It'll just happen for you. And so I just really want to encourage you all to just trust, water your roots. And on the days that you really don't feel like being radiant or glowing, I really feel like that is your body saying you need it more than ever. So just do one thing for yourself that makes you feel better than you did before that thought or before that feeling. Just do one thing, even if it's like drink some extra water, go for a walk, lay down and take a rest, read a book, whatever it is, be gentle with yourself. Look at all of those emojis.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Thanks, Maria, for throwing up the hashtags.
we love Wandering Wednesday.
Heck yeah. Do you have any closing bills that you would like to leave us with, Natalie?
Oh, you're doing such a succinct job tonight. It's just like, yeah, what she said. Yes, what you said. It's like, yes, that's good. Not to minimize um my role in that. I don't mean it like that at all,
Oh,
but
yeah, you're
just to
amazing.
raise you up and like, oh, I love the way that it's flowing out of you today. I've definitely appreciated the ability to shine more. And I am so grateful for the times of my life that were the dark times as well, and that I'm not there, but then also that um, there's a gentleman in one of my groups who quotes this, and I've heard it a few different ways. And he said, you've survived every struggle in your life 100% so far. And
Mhm.
even if it's that you can say to yourself, like, I've survived everything 100%. I'm working on overcoming. Language is such a powerful thing. Clean up the language, and your life just follows that
Mm.
along. So don't be afraid to clear up the language, like how you talk. And sometimes you need someone else that you are willing to listen to that will feed that back to you,
Mm.
because we don't always hear ourselves. So there's times a trusted other, whatever that looks like, a trusted other that can feed that back to you so that you can see yourself, because not all of us are so great at seeing ourselves or listening to ourselves, but being able to trust another. There's people that we listen to that we've talked about in this that said, ooh, they sort of undermine us. But then there's other people that we listen to that um, can reflect back to us the things that we could adjust
Mm.
and tune ourselves. And thank goodness for in my life for those people that could give me some insight into myself, because I cannot see every aspect of myself. So those are things that go along with this topic of, we all deserve it. And I want to just bring that thing that you said, your worth is not negotiable. Um, and within the framework of human design, there's a big chunk of the human population that doesn't have a steady and consistent sense of worth. And that saying that you said works for people with undefined hearts, where it's just not negotiable because it's not questionable. It just is what it is. And then those that have a steady and consistent sense of worth, it's not negotiable. It's not negotiable. So I love that quote.
Mm. It's so good.
So good.
It's really fun wandering with you
It's fun wandering with you.
and all of our wanderers. You guys
Mhm.
are amazing. Looks like we're getting a lot of angel emojis, which is the past
Yeah.
lives and soul memory.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that means some Akashic energy. It gets to come in for that topic, which I love. The good stuff. I mean, it's all good stuff, but that's just like
I look forward to that. We'll see if there's any extra comments, but there's a leader.
so far, that's the leader. That's what direction we may be going unless we get some more votes in. Thanks, Joe. We really enjoy wandering with all of you. I just have to say, you guys really show up and we're so grateful. We really are. Like
Mm-hmm.
so good. It's been what about a year since we came over to the YouTube by ourselves?
Yes.
It has been a year, you
Yes,
guys.
it has.
Just over a year. And it's been quite a journey. And doing things on our own has been educational and beautiful. And starting over is, I always love new beginnings. Thank you for them. And you guys just followed us from one place to another. So grateful. So much gratitude for all of you. We see you. We appreciate you. We love you. And thanks for hanging out with us tonight. And we will be with you again next week. Next week, I'll be in my last round of my 40s.
Woo.
So crazy. You guys. What a blessing. What a blessing. I
How
never thought.
fun is that?
Yeah, I never thought. But here we are. Hey, everyone. You guys have a great week and a great weekend. And enjoy every moment of your life because it is such a gift. And we'll talk to you all later. Good night.
Good night.